inshallah.
Are you sure?
Hey.
Are you sure you can
Oh,
handle
of course
it?
I.
The question.
You.
Are you sure you can
The thing
handle
is,
it?
at this moment in time,
Yeah.
your light and the light in your room is so illuminous.
Yeah.
मेरा तो काम खराब हो गया है.
Sunglasses. Let me get my sunglasses out. Let me set my sunglasses out. 1 second. Let me just adjust it. I'm actually not in my. I am actually at my brother-in-law's house. Basically we were running behind. So let me just adjust it so you can get a proper picture. On or Noor basically, or Noor basically. That's what
Hi. Noori, क्या बात है, माशाल्लाह.
Let me see what's gonna work best. 1 second, guys.
No problem.
Apologies for keeping you behind because I know you guys.
No, you're not. Allah give you strength, inshallah.
It's good couple of hours, so too much. Right, here we go.
Beautiful.
I found an umbrella box, which hopefully should be the right.
देखिए उसमें कुछ है भी है. उसमें कुछ है.
Sweets as well. No worries.
Latif bhai, I want to say from the depth of our heart, Jazakallah khairan for participating and being part of Tour de Mission. We can't. There are no words of how we can express our gratitude to you. Wallahi.
That's saying something, especially from a man like you, because I honestly have to say that your delivery, the way you express things is fantastic. I do every time you do a video. I do love it actually. Last time you did this, it was fantastic. It did actually sort of like add a great sort of an atmosphere to the whole proceeding. So you're doing a fantastic job as well. Actually, I've got to say.
Thank you. Allah give you barakah. Inshallah, accept it. Inshallah. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Saying that, let me say, could you? I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, inshallah.
Yeah, sure.
With all of your accolades, please. With all of your accolades.
Right? I'm not sure which accolades are you talking about.
Whichever one. अच्छे बुरे पैरे जो कुछ है वो share.
Everything. All right, chalo.
With your accolades. No, वो आपकी मर्जी है. Whatever you want to, it's not a problem. But at the same time, you got to tell us what the hell got into you to be part of Tour de Mission as well, inshallah. Sure. Go for it, my brother. Tell me who you are, tell me where you're from, and tell me what got into you to come to Tour de Mission.
Okay, assalamu alaikum everybody. So my name is Latif Jiva. I'm from Bolton, born and bred there, but traveled the world. So effectively, I picked up sort of lots of different habits and different sort of nuances to my accent and stuff like that. So if I dip in and out, you'll know what that's about. But yeah, no, I've always been sort of one that wants to challenge yourself mentally, physically. I'm always fascinated by sort of the physical challenges, because I think that brings a mental toughness to the individual, and that really sort of like that's something that's always fascinated since I was a little kid, to the point that I sort of decided to do one marathon, which was the London Marathon, sort of many years ago. So alhamdulillah, I did that, and then I also did the
How long
New York
was that?
Marathon. That was in 2000. Very
good. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been really working on yourself for the last number of decades now, mashallah.
It's I tell you a little story, because me and my brother, my younger brother, basically we got into fitness very, very young, basically when we were like 12, 13, and I still remember the day where we saved off enough pocket money to go to Argos and pick up some weights, basically. So like sort of getting the dumbbells and barbells and stuff like that, and I yes, exactly, and that was my first workout, because I didn't appreciate how heavy this pack was going to be, and this was sort of like going into town happily, merrily going on like, this is what I'm going to buy, this is what I'm going to buy. Brother couldn't make it because I couldn't remember, he was doing something, so it was just me. He said, "Don't worry, I'll go and sort this out." And this is my lack of thinking in some respects has got me into a lot of trouble in my whole life. But anyway, that's a different sort of that could make a different.
That's another podcast, bro. Yeah, that's another podcast.
Let's not go into that. But anyway, so this is me merrily going into town. Yeah, basically it's a nice hot summer's day. I used to have them in sort of like the late 80s and stuff like that. And sort of like pay my money over the podcast, and then sort of as you remember, I don't know, the younger kids won't remember, but you have to wait on the conveyor to see your number pop up and the thing falling and the Argos, and then you go to the counter and then I'm sort of like, and this guy comes up. There's two of them actually carrying this big box. Exactly, that's it. And he goes, "That's your number." He goes, "This is mine." I say, "Oh," he goes, "Yeah." And I'm thinking, right, okay, this is going to be a bit of a struggle now. Fortunately, the only fortunate thing that day was the bus stop to home. The ride was actually just outside the Argo store, so I managed to lug this thing up. Already starting to sweat. Already sort of like sweating buckets.
Literally outside, just from the counter to outside.
Yeah, exactly. It was perfect. But I'd already got my first workout, so I was already dripping with sweat, and I'm just carrying this thing around. And so like, get onto the bus. Basically, nobody's helping, so I'm just like struggling with this thing. And so I put it to one side, and I'm on the ride home. I'm thinking, right, how do I now get it from the bus stop to home? Basically, because like this is me, because I realized how heavy it was. But no, alhamdulillah, I managed to do it again, sort of like, sweating buckets and did it. But, since then, I've always been sort of fascinated, sort of like, family sort of been into sports as well. My uncles were into sports. My brother was into sports. And I was always sort of very much sort of fascinated by sort of like the whole physical, mental challenge of it. So, yeah, always sort of try to sort of pursue sort of a healthy lifestyle, which is, I think it's important, not only for yourself, but just basically, ability to sort of be able to do things and carry on things. And also, get involved in different things like this, which is part of the reason. And as I mentioned, I did the London Marathon, and at that time it was probably one of the hottest on record. That day we did the London Marathon. Wow. And again, this was sort of again another example of how I get myself into things without thinking about them. So at that
sometimes
time,
that's probably the best thing to do, because if you overthink something, you stop yourself.
Yeah, true. No, it's true. You're right. You do, and you sort of like your mind starts to get lots of doubts, and you think, I'm going, should I? And then typically there you'll sort of like, no, I'll leave it for now, and I'll do it next year or something. But yeah, it was that. So that at that time, training tips. There was not like they sent you a little sheet saying, oh, this is a typical example program. What do they know? I know better. Basically. So exactly, yeah. What did I know? So I started training basically. Regular training, running shoes. There was nothing like YouTube or something, the internet then at that time that you could get tips on and stuff like that. So I was just sort of learning and going along and stuff like that. I picked up an injury sort of like about 4 weeks before, and something that I've carried with it through my life. So there is a lesson to be learned there, children, because you should actually listen to the experts sometimes. Yeah, not all the time, but sometimes. Yeah.
That's a very important lesson, and Allah give you barakah, inshallah ta'ala. I think we've been very lucky, especially with A Mission and having like WhatsApp and people sharing their information with us. They're sharing their the nutrition and diet and this and that. Talking about that, coming to riding, Latif bhai, how did you get into riding? What got into you to get into riding? Do you understand?
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about that, brother.
Okay, so this was again something that I was working abroad in 2014, came back into the UK, and riding was starting to get really big, and I thought actually I want to try that basically, because I thought I couldn't do running anymore. My knees had given up, my back had given up basically. So I thought, right, what is a good way to sort of stay healthy and sort of low impact and stuff like that. So riding was great. Fortunately, I was working with somebody in 2015. Who was selling his bike because he was moving houses and stuff like that. He had an extra bike to sell. So I said, yeah, I'll have a look at it. And it actually turned out to be sort of a really, really good bike. And Sharif will testify to that. Hasim will testify to that as well. So I got this bike in 2016. And again, I was a bit of an amateur. I didn't know what I was getting. And it was a decent bike. And I started sort of like doing sort of occasional riding. It was only the following year I started to sort of like get more into more cycling. So since I've been riding since then. And sort of done clocked up a lot of miles since then on that one. Yeah, just again, being health conscious, wanting to sort of be into different things and sort of like try different sports. So
what's the longest ride you ever done?
I've done about 80 miles. I've done about 80
wow.
miles. So yeah, I mean, I'm one of these people now who I do ideally, if I could do more, I would do more, but I also want to balance family and lifestyle and stuff like that. So there's a lot of commitments and stuff like that, and doing sort of long rides takes a lot of time. Cycling is effectively one of the probably of the newest forms of dispute amongst couples, basically, because there's like, right, I'm just going on a bike ride. Okay, just going on a bike ride is not going on a bike ride. You disappear for 2, 3, maybe 4 hours.
20 days nowadays. People are going.
Some people have gone around the world and said, look,
exactly. Mashallah. Yeah, where did you go? I'm just on a bike ride. Where did you go? Just on a bike ride.
just that word. Just exactly. Yeah, just like I'm just popping out. You know what it's like. Yeah, I'm just popping out. Yeah. So yeah, so I like to sort of keep balance it out, you know, because over the weekends I like to spend time with the family. So I'll do like 3 or 4 hours maximum rides I do.
Talking
But you know,
about family, wouldn't you want to encourage your kid, your missus, and others to also participate in this, recreational activity that you love so much?
Yeah. No, they do. They've got. We've been so. The first sort of challenge we did, my wife and I, we did the Manchester to Blackpool night ride.
Oh wow!
For the British Heart Foundation. So yeah, we did that. That was a really fantastic experience. I mean, you know, riding at night is different. You know, I've ridden during the daytime a lot, but when you ride it, it's a different sort of context basically, and you know, the whole sort of landscape changes as well. So you know, roads you'll be familiar with, you're not familiar with because of the lighting and stuff like that. So yeah, no, that was so she was that. But I think after that, see, that's probably sort of like the pinnacle of her. Right, look, I've done my riding thing, you know. So she does the ride occasionally, but not as much as I do. The children, they do like the kids, they like riding, but again, they're into different things at the moment. So, but no, we have ridden, and it is something that, you know, if we go on holidays and there's an opportunity to like hire bikes, we do that. So
how are you feeling about coming to September 11th and riding with us with Tour de Mission?
I'm very, very excited. You know, the last time I was there on the previous run, it was fantastic. It was, I say it to everybody, even to this day, it was fantastically organized. It was really good, really fantastic day. And these days are actually a really great days out. It's a lot about camaraderie, team spirit. There's lots of laughs as well, and again, looking very much forward to it. To the point where I'm actually considering that, and I was going to talk to Sharif. I'm going to announce it exclusive on the podcast, that I was thinking, actually, I'm not sure if the time we can make it, but if anybody's interested, we actually do a sort of the double loop. So we ride to Lancaster, and then we ride with the rest of the group back. But it just depends, because obviously daylight and stuff like that by September 11th, we just got to figure out whether that still works. But you know, that was hopefully help to raise a bit more funds for those sort of like,
I think that's a brilliant idea. That's an amazing idea. There might be some takers. You know what I mean? There might be some takers, inshallah.
There is some people mad out there. Yeah, there is some people mad enough to do that.
Yeah, there are some others who are made from the same soil as you are, sir.
It's a very small patch of soil somewhere where in sort of like.
So where are you from back home, if you don't mind me asking?
So Bolton, born bred, but originally Indian sort of like Gujarat.
Where from India? गुजरात
कहाँ? दियादोरा.
हाँ, वहाँ की कोई मिट्टी है.
वो सही है.
Mashallah. Akhil Aziz, give them. Is there a message or something that you want to share with people out there who are going to be listening to this podcast and bring to this conversation, inshallah, from the depth of your heart, inshallah, something that you think it will encourage people to engage with in activity that you've been doing for the last 20 odd years, mashallah. Something like that. If there's something you want to share, please do.
No, I think, look, anybody, whatever you can do, get out and do something. Effectively, that's it. Because this is going to help you. As you, effectively, you know, the thing is, and the health aspect is very important, because average life expectancy is going up. Yeah, you don't want to be living sort of like, you know, sort of with lots of ailments, lots of, you know, taking lots of pills every day. I think we all see it in our parents and our grandparents, in the family members, etc., that, you know, because of that generation didn't have the opportunity and the luxury that we have. And I think you should consider that, the fact that you have got a luxury and an opportunity to actually sort of keep yourself healthy. You know, it is part of your iman as well, actually, to sort of, you know, effectively keep, you know, your body is your temple. You know, you need to sort of like make sure you look after, like you look after your, you know, your mental well-being, your health, your spiritual well-being. So whatever you can do, you should get out and do something, because it's going to help you, you know, as you progress through life. I think it's really good. It does help you mentally. You know, it helps you, the fact that you can put yourself through physical challenges. It does make you stronger mentally. Because so whenever you are facing, you know, we all face these difficult times in our life, and throughout that it will help you with that. And also the fact that if you are good in mind and body, and sound in mind and body, they would help you deal with sort of like effectively anything that life throws at you. So I think you know, keep going, do something. You know, it's not as hard as it looks and people make it look. If they are, then, you know, go and find somebody who will help you do that. There's lots of people out there who want to encourage each other. So
Like toward the mission,
Yeah.
the people who are part of
Exactly.
this particular structure, as you've seen, alhamdulillah, you know, and especially online as well, with the grace of God Almighty, may Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, you know, give all of us strength, all right, to
Yeah.
do even
Yeah.
more, bi'Iznillah, and put
Inshallah.
barakah into
Ameen,
your
ameen.
words, inshallah ta'ala.
Yeah.
And let me say this from, you know, Latif bhai, Allah give you strength, inshallah ta'ala. I want the Toda mission from you. What are you going to say?
Inshallah.
Toda? Go on.
Toda mission!
Another one, come on. Toda?
Toda mission!
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Bismillah ta'ala. Toda mission. We're going to be honored to see you, Latif bhai. You know, with you there, you know, encouraging us, being part of the team as well, inshallah ta'ala. Allah give you barakah. And let me tell you this, once again, though, Allah give you strength for all of the work that you've done, all the effort, all the time that you put in to supporting, helping a lot of causes, alhamdulillah, many causes, and especially Muhaddis as a mission through Toda mission, alhamdulillah. And Allah put barakah into your life, your children's life, your missus' life, and everyone that is connected to you, inshallah.
I appreciate all the du'as. I appreciate all the du'as, and like I said, you know, it's a team effort. I think that, you know, let's keep going. Let's make this sort of, you know, even bigger success than last time. Yeah.
Ameen. Look after yourself, bro. September 11th it is. Assalamu alaikum.
I will see you on the 11th. I will see you on the 11th. I'm looking forward to it.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.